Hi, my name is Betsy Scout and this is Finish Being Fat Yoga. This yoga routine is a beginning to intermediate level program designed to help you get ready to meet your fitness goals. We'll go step by step through some poses as well as give modifications to make it harder and easier, and then ending with a little bit of breathing practice and meditation. First thing I'm going to show you is something called Child's Pose. This is the pose I want you to drop into at any point during the routine. If you feel like you need a break, go ahead and drop into this. Going down onto your knees, sit back into your heels, and lie prostrate onto the ground, extending your arms forward, allowing your back to curve, reaching your spine to the front of the room, as well as using your tailbone to extend to the back. Reach. Your legs and knees can be closer together or farther apart depending on what's most comfortable for you. This is a nice restorative pose that will allow you to take a break and get ready for the next sequence. I like to start my yoga routines with a little bit of warm-up. But first we have to warm up our minds and be ready for the practice. So close your eyes, place your hands at your chest, open them into a book, and inhale, and exhale. On the inhale, I want you to think of an intention, what you hope to gain from this practice, what you need in your life, whether you need peace or relaxation, whether you're searching for stress relief, or whether you want to tone your body, make it more flexible. Inhale all those good intentions, and then exhale, burning it onto your book. Feeling the air blow onto your hands. More inhale, and one last exhale. Close your book, open your eyes, bringing warmth to your hands, sealing in that intention, bringing it with you to the rest of your practice. Take the warmth from your hands and bring it to the rest of your muscles. The tops of your feet, they don't often get stretched and warm, but those can actually get injured. Then bring it up to your shins, like that. Gently maneuver your kneecaps so that you can warm the fluid, but you don't want to be harsh on those. And behind, up to the quads. Side to the IT band, in the back where the hamstrings are. At this point, give yourself a little hip roll, just going back and forth, allowing those joints to wake up. Then bring your hands to your obliques, warm your sides, warm your abs, warm your back. Give yourself a little massage. Get your spine ready to move. Going up to your arms, your shoulders, your neck. Taking your head slightly to one side, gentle pressure on your head, and lightly to the other. Doing a large arm roll forward. That shoulder girdle ready to move and back. It's important in yoga to have strong ankles, and yoga does help increase ankle strength. So start with something called the Elvis. Pointing your toe. It's kind of a funny name for a funny pose. Rotate it with your knee, allowing that muscle to warm. Also allowing that hip flexor joint to warm up. And to the other side. Very nice. Let's start with some modified sun salutations. Always start in standing mountain pose, where you are just standing tall. Check your form, legs straight, shoulders up, back, down. This pose symbolizes strength, solidarity. I want you to inhale up to greet the sun, and exhale down into a forward fold. Your options on a forward fold are to keep your legs straight and just go as far as you can with a flat back. I have some back problems, and so my back doesn't remain straight, it curves. But do whatever you can. Your other option is to bend your knees slightly, bringing your torso to rest onto your thighs and slowly straightening out your legs as much as you're able. And inhale, straightening your legs to a flat back, hands lightly on the knees, neck extended. And exhale back down into forward fold. And inhaling up to greet the sun. And exhaling hands to heart. We'll take that modified again without the explanation. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling flat back. Exhaling back down. Inhaling to the sky. Exhaling hands to heart. We'll now move into a full sun salutation. You'll want to take 3 or 4 of these. It starts very much the same as the modified and then goes on. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling flat back. Exhaling down. Place your hands on the mat. Splaying your fingertips so that you have a nice wide stance. Your hands should be just underneath your shoulders in a nice straight line. This is called plank position. Should be on top of the balls of your feet. Inhale and exhale, slowly lowering down, bringing your elbows into your side, lowering down through Chaturanga. And at the bottom, arching your back. Your choices are to keep your elbows slightly bent wherever is comfortable for you, wherever your back is able to go. You can go all the way into up dog to make it more difficult, to where you're only resting on the lower part of your legs and the top part of your legs are not. Or you can just take modified up dog to where your pelvis is still resting on the ground. Take a moment to inhale and exhale. Especially since this is your first real back bend for the day. Allow your back to get into it. Flip your toes underneath you. Moving into downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, you want to ideally, eventually, have your whole foot planted onto the ground. But if it's not right now, that's okay. I still have trouble sometimes, especially first thing in the morning. Go wherever you're able to, your hands still rooted firmly. The idea is to create an inverted V, letting your tailbone reach into the sky, your feet pulling into the ground. Your hands and arms should be roughly where your ears are. You can cycle your legs back and forth, especially allowing your calves to get used to the stretch. Remembering to breathe. A lot of times we forget to breathe when things are difficult, and that's when we need it the most, to allow oxygen to get to our muscles. And taking one more inhale, and then exhaling. Looking at your hands, either walk or jump your feet forward into that forward fold. And inhaling up. And exhaling. Hands to heart. That's a full sun salutation. Once you get the hang of it, you can go faster. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Planting your hands, lowering through chaturanga, inhaling to up dog, flipping to down dog, walking or jumping your feet forward, exhaling down, going to the sky, exhaling hands to heart. The sun salutation is a great start up to any yoga routine, and then you can add on as you go, adding new poses, making your warm-up complete. Let's add a few now. Inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling flat back, exhaling back down. Starting at plank, instead of going through chaturanga, open yourself into side plank, keeping that right hand firmly planted on the ground, rotating onto the sides of your feet, bringing that left arm up into the sky. If you want to challenge to your balance, look up. If you're having a tough time supporting your weight on this arm, and always make sure that your hand is directly stacked beneath your elbow, beneath your shoulder. You can drop to one knee. And go back. Also, if you have trouble with plank, you can also drop to knees. And going to the other side. Whatever you do on one side, always make sure to do on the other. And from plank, dropping through chaturanga into up dog. And then to down dog. Looking at your hands, walking or jumping. Inhaling up and exhaling down. We'll take a different moving vinyasa at this point. Starting in a sun salutation, will eventually become fluid as you move through it and peaceful. A place where you can meditate. As you come into downward facing dog, check your form. Make sure you're not like this, more of a plank or a tabletop. You want your head to be down. The goal is to bring your chest closer to your legs. So your eyes should be trained on those toes. This is a more difficult piece. Bring your right leg in. Bringing it forward. And exhaling it back. Bringing your left knee in to your chest. Moving your arms as if in plank. And going back. This is called a moving vinyasa. You move with the speed of your own breath. This is a great pose for abdominal strength and increasing metabolism. You can take it as slow or fast as you'd like with your own breath, and at any point if you need to, just stop and relax into child's pose. Allowing your back to make that nice C relaxed shape. When you're ready, come back and join us. Let's take one more to each side. And watching your hands walk or jump your feet forward. Inhaling to the sky. Exhaling hands to heart. Good job rolling through your workup. Go ahead and massage your arms a little bit, especially if you're not used to supporting your own weight. At this point I'd like you to take bell. It's where you're just rotating your spine. Allowing your hands to hit your hips. It's a nice calming pose. Also works your back. Make sure as you go through this that your core is tight. If you want, you can have a wider stance. Whatever's most comfortable for you. taking deep breaths. You can have eyes closed, eyes open. This is your practice. This is for you to meditate, to calm yourself, and also get a workout. From here, like you go into Prasariti, it's a wide leg stance. Turn your toes slightly inward. It allows the stretch to be on the back of your legs. Similar to what you do in a sun salutation. Inhale up, exhaling down into a forward fold. Just relax. You can bend your arms. Slowly work into a deeper pose. Rotating back and forth. Allowing your back to arch and melt over. From here, place your hands into prayer and drop into a squat. And inhale back up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Like to go into a triangle pose. For this, you want to have your front foot, let's have it right for this time, be straight, toe pointing towards the front of your mat. Your back foot, the left foot in this case, being at a 45-degree angle. So not facing forward, not facing completely to the side, just at a nice angle. Both legs in a triangle pose are straight. You want to inhale. You can have the front triangle pose where you're keeping your hips facing forward, or open it up to the side. In the open triangle pose, your hips will rotate, your arm will go to the ceiling. Once again, stack straight so that you have a clean line of energy. And drop it, moving back into front. Bringing yourself up. And take it on the other side. It is a balance pose as well. So if you are having a challenge with your balance, look towards your foot. If you want more of a workout, train that balance, then look up to the sky. And back down. Bringing yourself up. Before we move into our warrior poses, let's talk about balance. Yoga is a great way to improve your balance. And it's something that helps you prevent injuries, as well as just helping you through other sports or the rest of your daily life. So we like to do lots of balance poses, and most of poses include balance, but some are just specifically for balance, like my favorite, the tree. To start your tree, you need to have strong roots. So let's start with our left foot being our trunk, rooted into the ground, shifting your weight over to that left leg. Bring your foot wherever it's comfortable, keeping your hips open, your knee pointed out to the side. You can just be at the ankle to start with. Just tapping wherever you need to start. When I started yoga, there was a wall beside me, and that was the only way that I could do tree. It's since become my favorite. Move it up to your shin. Do not move it onto your knee. That can blow out the side. Not a good idea. Ending up. It's a challenge even if you've done it lots of times. At your thigh. Keeping your hands in prayer. Keeping your eyes open unless you really want a challenge to your balance. You'll feel the muscle in your standing leg, on your feet, flex, and alter where it needs to shift your weight. It's a very good exercise for anybody who has weak ankles, tired of rolling or twisting or spraining your ankle. This is a pose that you need to be doing every day. If you need more of a challenge to your balance, you can move through hand motions, because anytime you're moving, it makes life more difficult. There's no one set of hand movements, whatever you're comfortable with. Bringing your hands to heart at the end. And slowly lowering it down. Taking it on the other side. Making sure to check yourself, root your foot. Keeping that body open. You don't want to be up in front. Keeping that knee open. Another thing that's helpful is to find a gazing point, or in Sanskrit, a drishti. And just staring at it, focusing on it, something that doesn't move. This is preferable. If you're in a gym where there's mirrors, not a good idea to stare in the mirror. And then slowly bringing your hands hard and lowering your foot. Good job. Now we'll move into a warrior series. The warrior series is said to bring strength, balance, toning, invigorating the spirit, and building the body. Very similar to what you did in the triangle pose. Start with your right foot facing forward, toes, back foot in a wide stance at a 45-degree angle. Different than the triangle pose. I want you to have that front knee bent. Your hips are going to be facing forward for the first warrior. And you're going to inhale, arching your back slightly, staring at the sky. This is called Warrior One. As you move through the warrior series, your legs will stay in the same positions, even as your upper body moves. Inhale one more time. Exhale, I want you to move into Warrior Two. For Warrior Two, you're going to keep your legs the same, opening your hips so that they're in a nice clean line, extending your hands and arms out, gazing over your front fingertips. This is Warrior Two. Notice your front knee is still bent. The tendency is to come back. Just check with yourself, check with your form. Moving into Warrior Three. Imagine that you have a hinge right along your side. Keeping your body open. Going down that back. Once again, don't place weight directly on that knee. Either stop directly above or below. Warrior Three or Archer. Bringing it back up into Warrior Two. Back into Warrior One. Move into Warrior Four or Spear. Inhale and lower yourself so that you're almost lying prostrate onto that thigh. This is a very strong pose. If you need to drop your hands to start with, that's fine. Otherwise, keep them extended. Bringing it back up into Warrior One and take a rest. Dropping to a knee and going into Child's Pose. Here, bring yourself onto hands and knees. Let's take a couple cat-cows before we move into warrior on the other side. Cat-cow is an excellent exercise for your spine and your hips, as well as just being relaxing and working on your breath. On cow, you inhale, dropping the belly, arcing the chest, bringing your tailbone tilted up. On the exhale, you bring your hips underneath you, arching your back like a Halloween cat, your neck tucked in, squeezing all the air from you. Inhaling into cow. Exhaling through cat. If you want more of a challenge, On cat, you can bring yourself up on the tripod fingertips. And one more. From here, bring your foot forward. Coming into warrior one on that opposite side. Your left leg now has your toes pointed forward, knees stacked over the ankle, back leg at that 45-degree angle. You'll notice that your quads in particular work really hard during this pose. You'll feel them getting stronger after daily practice. Inhaling through warrior one. This should give you a chance to see what the back looks like. Through those front fingertips. Back to warrior one. Before dropping into spear. Let's start doing some cool down. Just slowly relaxing those muscles that we've just worked. Going into that child's pose. Thread the needle. Taking your right hand underneath your extended, allowing your shoulder to rest into the ground. Bringing your hand. Good shoulder stretch. Good back stretch. Your shoulders, you've worked hard today, especially if you're not used to supporting your own weight on them. If you want more of a challenge, or to stretch a little different muscles, place your hand right there and rotate further. Or for an even bigger stretch, bring your leg opposite your extended arm to the side. Arching that back. But it's just fine to stay in threaded needle position. And exhaling your hands forward again. Connecting your head to the ground. Allowing yourself to recharge. Thread the needle onto the other side. And bringing your hands forward again. Slowly bring yourself onto knees. You should be sitting onto your heels. I'll take a quick modified camel, or full camel if you're able. And just modified camel. Just bringing yourself back. Arching your back, arching your neck. Opening yourself, opening your airways. In modified camel, your tailbone will still be on your heels. If you want to take full camel, go into a standing, kneeling position, bringing your hands onto your heels, arching your back. It's a very strong pose, very difficult pose if your back is not quite flexible enough yet, not one you want to be twisting and looking around in. But it also counts as a slight inversion because your head is below your heart. And bringing yourself up, dropping down. Let's end in hero pose before we go to meditation. Kneeling, but bringing your rear to end and sit between your feet. Modified hero, just bring yourself down as far as you're able, as far as you're comfortable. This is a really strong quad stretch. So a lot of people, if they don't have stretchy quads or very flexible quads, are comfortable right here. If you want to continue in the full hero pose, Go down onto your elbows or down flat on your back. You know that you're stretching too far. If your knees pop up or your back arches, that means that your quads don't want to stretch anymore. So in that case, just bring yourself up to wherever's comfortable. And taking the opposite, do one quick stretch on your hamstrings. It's good to stretch opposing muscles. If you stretched your quads, make sure you get your hamstrings. Let's go into pranayama, breathing exercises. We're going to do something called a box breath. For this, may as well get an extra stretch. Bring your left ankle onto your right knee. And just relax, keeping your back straight, shoulders back. Box breath is where you make a box with your breath. So you're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. So let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. Take this chance between breaths to switch legs. You should feel this opening on your IT band, your hip flexors. If you have them very tight, your leg might look more like this. That's okay, go wherever is most comfortable, where you can feel the stretch but not pushing past the point of tension. And inhaling, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. The reason why we do breathing exercises in yoga is to calm the spirit and help the spirit be the master of the body, so that in stressful situations, I always like to pull out my breathing exercises. If I'm having a panic attack or whatever I need, middle of holidays, just do some breathing, get oxygen to the right places, and you'll be fine. Let's do one more in just a calm lotus position. And inhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. At the end of a yoga practice, we like to go into a meditative state. Meditation is not the absence of thought, it's focused thought. And it can be difficult to master at first, so I don't recommend doing it for long periods of time until you can build up to it. Start with just slow breathing. You can meditate with hands on knees, hands in lotus position, first and third closed, allowing a circle of energy. Or you can move into Savasana, corpse pose, where you're laying on your back, arms relaxed beside you, legs extended. I'm going to go ahead and go up into lotus pose. You're welcome to take your own meditation, or you can join me in mine. Start with an inhale, thinking I am, and on the exhale, exclaim to yourself what you want to be, or who you think you are. I am powerful. I am strong. My old yoga teacher used to laugh at me because I would say, I am a fuel-efficient furnace. I was just begging my body to cooperate with me so that I could lose the weight. It doesn't matter, whatever makes sense to you and whatever your body needs is what your mind needs to give it. Inhaling I am, exhaling your desire. Bringing the good things to you. At this point, I want you to clear all thought except for one focused on your center, on your core, on your belly button. Have your body in your own mind's eye be completely black, except for a small pinpoint of light emanating from your belly. Watch that pinpoint as you inhale. Watch it flare and grow brighter. And as you exhale, watch it grow. And inhaling. And on the exhale, watching the darkness leak out your toes, out your fingers. The light growing bigger and brighter with each inhale, exhale series. Everywhere the light touches, it heals sore muscles. Watch it wrapping around muscles, bones, old injuries. Visualize growing stronger, healing. It doesn't just have to be physical injuries. You can visualize your own internal, emotional injuries, things that you do to yourself, wounds others have inflicted on you. Imagine the light coating over those holes, filling them and making them whole. And taking one more inhale, your light growing the brightest of all. And on the exhale, pushing the last bits of darkness, so that you're one solid being of light and goodness. For the last few minutes of meditation, close your eyes and create a scene for yourself where you're safe, someplace that you feel at home, where nothing can get to you, your fortress. It can be outside in the wilderness, at a beach. It can be in your own room, wherever you're recharged. I want you to imagine that you have a backpack on your back and it's heavy. It weighs a lot and it causes you to curve your back. The backpack is full of all the things that you carry around with you every day. All the things that you have to do, all the things that you failed to do, all the things that you feel people put upon you, all the things that you put upon yourself. I want you to set your backpack down and open it up, visualizing each thing as you pull it out. They can be books, they can be stones. Visualize your own problems, take inventory. See how much they really weigh. Sometimes, when we look at the things that are bothering us and that weigh us down all day, you can realize that they're not really that heavy after all. We give them a lot more weight than they actually deserve. Sometimes we realize we don't need them at all, and we can leave them, throw them in the river and watch them as they float away. This is especially true of others' expectations of you. And sometimes the expectations that we put upon ourselves. Remembering the lessons from my book. Not everyone can win the race, but everyone can finish. Knowing that as long as you keep trying and don't give up, you will reach the end eventually. You will succeed in your goals. Finish examining the contents of your backpack, putting back only the things that are necessary and good, leaving all the heavy stones behind. And just stay in your safe place, feeling the love of all those around you, feeling the love that you can grow for yourself. Allowing that to lift you and your backpack higher until you're floating above your safe place. disappear and focus only on the intention that you had at the beginning of class. Visualize that word or phrase, sealing it into this practice and into your life. If you're in Savasana, slowly bring yourself back to the world, coming up into a seated position. Bringing your hands in front of you into that book. Visualize the intention. Visualize how you're going to bring it into your life. One more inhale and exhale, sealing all the goodness that you've brought to yourself onto your intention. Close your book. Traditionally, at the end of yoga practice, we say Namaste, which is Sanskrit, roughly translated into English as the good within me bows to the good within you. Namaste, and thank you for joining me for this. I recommend that you do this at least once a week, moving up to more time as your body becomes more flexible. You will likely be sore the next day, and that's okay. As long as it's not pulled muscle pain, a little bit of soreness is your body's way of saying that it's growing and moving towards better things. Make sure you drink lots of water, as stretching and toning can release the yucky toxins into your body, and we want to flush them out with lots of water. If you have any questions, you can email me by going onto my website and doing the contact section. It's betsyschow.com. BETSYSCHOW.com. Until next day.